you're late for work, your kid's late for school, and there's a train that won't budge. In Texas, they're called monster trains, and they're more than just a nuisance. They're actually a growing danger. Tonight, our I-Team's Brian New is showing us how longer trains are costing Texans their time and safety, and sometimes their only way out.
As the saying goes, everything in Texas is bigger. But when it comes to trains, bigger may not always be better.
It's frustrating. I mean, there's another train. It is frustrating.
5 years ago, the average Union Pacific freight train was around 8,000 feet. Today, it's more than 9,000, with many extending as long as 15,000 feet. That's 3 miles, 250 plus cars. These are known as monster trains. What would take a shorter train 2 or 3 trips, a monster train could haul in one, saving railroad companies millions. But longer trains also mean longer waits at crossings.
You can wait up to an hour.
And when a train stops, it often becomes more than an inconvenience.
Sometimes the train has been here for just the whole day.
Nowhere is this a bigger problem than in Texas. We found more than 7,000 reports across Texas of trains blocking crossings in the past year, 3 times more than any other state, with many of the most problematic crossings in Tarrant and Denton counties, including this crossing on Tinsley Lane.
This is what we call a lollipop neighborhood. It's only one way in and out.
Jeff Kennedy lives in Vista Ranch. To get out of his neighborhood, you have to cross the tracks.
So what happens if a train blocks this crossing?
Then there's no way in and out.
There's no back road?
There's no back road. This is the only access.
Last month, we saw this problem up close. A train lost power and blocked the crossing for more than 4 hours. Parents had their kids climbing over the sold train cars just to get to baseball practice.
So if someone's trying to get to work, trying to get to catch a flight, go to school, they're stuck.
This is potentially more than just an inconvenience thing.
Yeah, it's a danger unnecessarily.
Engine 661, commercial structure fire.
It's kind of cliche when you say it that seconds count, but when it's your child that's in that car wreck, those seconds are everything.
When Fort Worth firefighters get a call from an address near train tracks, dispatch sends 2 trucks, one from each direction. If the route includes the Avondale-Hazlitt crossing, the most frequently reported block crossing in North Texas, trucks roll from both the Fort Worth and Hazlitt fire stations.
And in that way, we know that we're coming from 2 different directions, so a stopped train is not going to stop our response time.
But what happens when there's not just one train?
There's a train track up there, a train track here.
But multiple trains.
Another train track. 2 train tracks there.
Blocking multiple crossings. We were about to find out.
How would we get out?
You can't. Helicopter?
So we're trapped right now?
Right now you are.
Chad Beavers owns Cold Springs Processing. Since 1983, his family business has collected and disposed grease from some of North Texas's biggest restaurants. The facility sits between 2 sets of train tracks, and at times trains block both at once.
And this happens
multiple times a day. Anywhere from 3 to 8 times a day.
We were trapped for nearly an hour, and so were trucks that couldn't get out to pick up their next load of grease.
My main goal with our customers is we get you in, we get you out. That way you can go get more and you can bring it back to us. And when that doesn't happen, that hurts our bottom line.
While the train sat still, we saw workers from the factory across the street walk between cars so they wouldn't be late to work. It's illegal to cut through a train, but workers told us it happens all the time.
It's dangerous, but you need a job. Everybody needs a job. It's hard to find jobs right now. You don't want to lose your job because of a train.
Texas lawmakers filed a bill this past session to cap the length of a train at 8,500 feet. But even if the bill passed, the state can't enforce it. Train length is regulated by the federal government, and there are no federal limits. Construction began last month on a new road, one that gives neighbors in Vista Ranch another way out without crossing the train tracks.
That'll be good, but it's going to take a while, 4 to 6 months. Hopefully, in the meantime, we won't have another train stoppage.
Building roads around or bridges over train tracks isn't cheap. In January, the federal government gave Texas $80 million in rail safety grants. That covers just 6 projects in a state with more than 9,000 train crossings.
Along with that $80 million, this year Texas lawmakers set aside another $250 million for rail safety crossing projects. Nicole, not every crossing in the state is going to need an overpass, but as we've reported on in the past, there are many crossings here in the state that don't even have a simple safety gate.
Yeah, Brian, I have a lot of questions after watching that. But in that piece, you talked about Texas lawmakers wanting to, pass that bill that caps the length of that train at 8,500 feet. But when we talk about a federal limit on a train length, are there regulations around that?
No, there's not. And the FRA, the Federal Railroad Administration, told us that they're not even considering it because they told us that there is no clear evidence linking train length to any more risk in safety. Union Pacific echoed this, telling us that longer trains are more efficient, better for the environment, and no more dangerous. However, there have been recent studies that suggest otherwise, including one that showed that trains with more than 200 cars are 24% more likely to derail.